There are 5 ways to enter chords in Band in a Box. The most common way, and what we're going to look at in this video, is using the computer keyboard and typing them in. We can also enter by playing on a MIDI keyboard controller. We can use the chord builder for the third way, and we can import chords from MIDI files, the fourth way, and finally the last way is to load an existing song, and that'll load in a chord progression on the chord sheet. Now, to start with, we can toggle the color of the chord sheet area here, and we can do that with a simple key command, Control-Shift-C, and that'll toggle through different background colors here, as you can see in the chord sheet area. I'm going to leave it at white for now. We can also get to there from the chord display window over here, color for chord sheet, and we can choose based on those menu items. Now, when we're entering chords here, the thing to remember is that each numbered cell on the chord sheet represents a bar. That's bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, etc. And we move the highlighted area here between the different cells using the cursor keys, and we have a separate field for each half of the bar. Left and right cursor keys, up and down, etc. Very simple to move around. We can also use the Tab key once we enter chords to move, and Shift Tab will move back. And these are all going to accept whatever chords are typed in. The other thing we can do is hit Return, and that'll also move the chord highlighted area forward, and just move back using either arrow or Shift Tab. Now, when we're typing in chords, we can use a comma to separate multiple chords in the same cell. So if you want to get 4 chords in a bar, type a chord, comma, another chord, and that'll enter 2 chords for the first half, move to the next cell, and repeat. Now, when we're typing in chords, we use the lowercase b for the flat symbol. We can use sharp or the number 3 for sharps, and we use a slash with chords for alternate bass notes. So let me give you an example. We're in the key of F here. Let's say I'll hit F, and you don't need to use the Shift key. Don't worry about capitals. So I just typed in F. I'm going to hit Tab. That moves to the next one. I'll hit, let's say, G, M7, M for minor. And let's say now I'll go G sharp, and then I'm going to type DIM for diminished. And then I'll go maybe AM for A minor. And I'll go B, and then another B for flat. And then I'll go MAJ7 for B flat major 7. And I'll hit a comma and go C7, and now I'll hit Tab. So I've got 2 chords in that first half. And then maybe I'll type DM, comma, EM, and then I'll use the arrow key now to move. And there I've got another 2 chords in that half. So that's pretty straightforward. Lowercase b for flats, sharp or 3 for sharps. We use the slash for bass notes. We type DIM for diminished, MAJ for major 7, and M for minor. And we're good to go. Let's listen. I'm going to hit Control with the space bar to start playback from the beginning, even though this is the highlighted cell right now. And it's going to generate right now. It'll do the 2-bar count in, and it'll play it back at this tempo with this feel. And spacebar to stop. Now let's clear the chord sheet again. I'm going to hit New, and that'll just clear it all. I'm not going to save. And I'm going to show you some shortcuts. We can use the letter J for major 7. So let's say I'll type FJ, and I'm going to hit Tab, and that puts in F major 7. We can use H for half diminished. So let's say I want to go E, and then I'll type H for half diminished. Instead of typing minor 7 flat 5, M7 B5, just H is a nice shortcut. And then I can type in D for diminished. So let's say I'll go E flat. I'm going to use lowercase b, and then just type D for diminished. There's E flat diminished. And I can type S for a sus chord. So I'll hit D, and let's say S for T7 sus chord. And those are some nice shortcuts. If you're entering a lot of chords, you might want to get those under your fingers. And let's hear that. I'm going to hit Control spacebar. And again, it's going to regenerate now, and then figure out the styles as applied to those chords and play it. And we can also preview the chords as we're entering them with usually the piano and bass sound. In some cases, it chooses one of the other sounds. And we can do that by pressing Shift Return when we enter the chords. So let's say over here I'm going to type C13, and I'm going to make a bass note with a slash over maybe B flat. And I'm going to hit Shift Return. Hit Tab, and there's the chord. And let's say I'll try that again. Now I'll go to B flat, and I'm going to hit D for diminished, shift return. Hit tab, and there it's entering those chords. Now another thing we can do is we can audition the sound or preview the sound of the chords that are already entered, and all we need to do is hit shift return, place the cell or the highlight over the cell that we want to hear, and then hit shift return, and it'll play them. So highlight as you're entering or already existing chords with shift return. Now another way that we can do it is pressing Option Z, and that'll open the chord options box. So Option Z, and it'll open up the chord for whatever cell is selected or highlighted, and we can hit preview and hear it like that. And the chord options box is here, so we can get to it with the button or the shortcut. Now, finally, we can enter chords with numbers instead of root notes if you're into using Roman numerals and that kind of thing. So, for example, let me clear this again. And what I can do is, we're in the key of F, or we're in the key of C since we cleared everything. What I can do is I can use Roman numerals. Instead of typing, for example, D, I can type in 2. So let's say I'll type the number 2, hit tab, and there's D. Now I'll hit 3, M7, so it'll be 3 minor 7, there's E minor 7. I can go, let's say, the number 5, and I'll type in 13 for tab, and there's G13. I can go, let's say, 7 and D, there's a B diminished, etc. So we can enter them like that. Now we can also have alternate displays of the chords here, and we can get to that from the chord display button, and we can choose how we want to display. We can display them as Roman numerals like that, so we're seeing the Roman numerals, and that's great if you want to transpose to different keys, depends how you like to work. And there's various types. We can use the Nashville numbering system, and it'll show it like that. And we can also use solfeggio or fixed do, so lots of different ways of displaying it. There's the normal chord display, and we can also control the font that's used here, and we have many different fonts to choose from. I think I had it on the PG Chords Jazz font originally, but any of these will work, and you can alter the display like that. So that's the basics of entering chords using the computer keyboard, and we'll continue with more ways in the next video.